the Darger's book. Was it good? I think she's cute. Because he actually loves all of his wives.
What we are seeing here is an example of how Kody's words had created a lasting impact. You can't go on national TV and say, I never loved my wives anyways, and expect that your kids are just going to forget about it. But this conversation is about the Dargers. They're friends who were on the show a couple different times who have lived polygamy and still live polygamy and supposedly happily.
One thing that the kids will sometimes bring to me is like, well, polygamy really doesn't work, right? And that's a very common thing that I hear from a lot of people.
It's become common because we have watched time and time again as families in polygamy have failed to last in the long run. Now, mind you, that monogamous relationships aren't exactly making a great go these days either. But there are additional layers where more people get hurt in so many other ways.
I have seen families that can do it, and it just really depends on the man's character.
We are hearing Janelle say that it takes the man's character to have successful polygamous relationships. Now, she's right and wrong at the same time.
And he has done such a good job managing his relationships with his wives. Yeah, that's where Kody failed, I feel like.
That moment that they flash back to, that beach moment where they were all on vacation together, it's important to note that they were seeing Joe being affectionate with his wives all at once, all together. And his wives love to have that affection shown and not hidden. And that's where the sister wives, Mary, Christine, Janelle, and certainly Robin, I feel like they may have gone wrong because they hid that affection. They made it seem like it was some kind of a dirty thing to display when really it should have showed love and unity in the family. But this is a crazy dynamic. Everybody's going to be different. So we see that Janelle feels that it was the man's job to keep the family intact. But what does Kody feel about the difference between Dargers and themselves?
Before we ever went public, I knew Joe Darger, and Joe had a really decent beginning of success, I think, because his wives were all culturally homogenous. They were related.
Culturally homogenous? Homogenous. Is there a word such as homogenous, or is it homogenous? Once we work our way through that word salad, let's go ahead and figure out what Kody means. What he's talking about is 2 of Joe's wives are sisters. But the problem with this whole theory is Joe was married to the first 2 wives for 10 years before marrying the sister. So no, it didn't work because they were related.
What happened with us was I felt like I was devoted to our family and to plural marriage.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't feel Kody was in this focus of plural marriage for his family. I feel like he was doing it more of a flex. Look at all the wives I got. Look at how cool I am. I'm the guy on TV. I got the convertible, like all of that. I don't think it had to deal with the actual family unit and what it would be like to live in this life.
Then I struggled to be devoted specifically to every single wife and vice versa. I don't think the wives were devoted to me or to each other as a whole.
And that's where we fall apart in this, because let's break this down. Were the wives devoted to him and each other as a whole? I feel like in the beginning, we were told they were. From what we saw, they worked together well as a family unit. But of course, it was the little kids that made them be together and work together. But we saw that fall apart, and the timing of when that fell apart was when Robin entered the picture. The focus of the family was falling apart, and the focus on Kody and his relationship with the wives were falling apart because Kody simply fell in love. And what we learned from this as the viewer is that polygamy can work as long as you don't fall in love. Because finding your soulmate is not good for everybody.